Now playing the Hook and Bridge podcast.
I fucking love Kesha. I'm telling you, I'm the worst person to have a podcast. I can barely speak.
Oh my god, I love Green Day!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Hook and Bridge podcast, episode number 17. Taylor, it is a huge episode.
Huge day. It is a huge day today.
First of all, just to give a brief introduction to who we have on the show today. Their new album is out right now. It's called Recollections of a Painted Year. You can see them in a few different cities, Midwest mainly. Please welcome to the show, everybody, the band Aranda. Well, specifically Dameon from the band Aranda. So welcome, yes. Dameon. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Hey, it is really, really good to be here. I'm glad to be talking to you guys.
So what's your brother doing?
Man, I don't know. It's funny. Our band, we'll get into all this, but we have other jobs too. So we're working guys on top of doing all the music stuff. So he owns his own tile company. And so,
wow.
Really?
So he's probably tiling somebody's house somewhere here in Oklahoma City.
That is crazy.
Wait, I love that. You should have him join the Zoom call while he's tiling.
Oh, well, it's funny. He has his own page on Instagram called Gabe Aranda Tile, and I guess it's been about 6 months ago. There was a challenge that was going on in kind of the R&B world, and it was called the Can We Talk Challenge. And this old 90s singer, Tevin Campbell, he had a song called Can We Talk? And they were basically, the guy that was putting on the challenge, his name was Tank. He's a big R&B guy. Mm-hmm. And anyway, my brother was like, oh, I'm just going to submit for it, whatever. And he ends up submitting this thing, and he's kind of still in his tile clothes and still doing his thing. And all of a sudden he texts me about 30 minutes later. He goes, Dameon, he goes, I'm going viral right now. And his video and all this stuff started going viral. And I mean, we got probably another 20,000 fans just off that little challenge that he did.
Wow, man.
That's crazy.
And then his page, it was funny, his Instagram page went from like 200 follows to like almost 10,000 follows. And I was like, man, that's the power of social media. That's the power.
Yeah.
That's the power. But the moral of the story is everybody thinks he's like the singing tile guy. They only knew Aranda later as they began to investigate him a little bit more. But I think it's more appealing to start the rags to riches story of Gabe as a tiler, and then all of a sudden he gets on the internet and sings, and he's got all these new fans. So, he'll probably put out another album by himself at some point. So I just hope to just be a part of it at some point.
So
that's so great.
Tile company. What is it that you do? What's your kind of day to day?
So my day to day, it's funny. I do quite a few other things, but I'm a songwriter / producer / I'm kind of all over the place. I do a lot of stuff here at a church here in Oklahoma City that really is a really kind of a cool thing, because I actually get to kind of supervise all the music that we do and write the songs and help.
Oh, awesome!
Help kind of lead our church, which is really cool. And then on top of that, I manage and help produce a few other artists as well. And so, I mean, 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks are not uncommon for what we do. And then we've just, we always call, when we put out a record, it's kind of like the album cycle. So now with Aranda, we're hitting the road, we're doing, shows, and we're really kind of starting to gain a little momentum again. And so I'm really excited about that. So when you start snowballing one thing, one of the other things kind of takes a little bit of the back burner. So I don't know what part of that is yet, but I'm really excited
Right.
about the Aranda stuff right now.
So speaking of which, so first of all, I'm actually really excited. Nothing against your brother. I love your brother. His vocals are incredible, and so are yours. But I'm excited that you're here because the bulk of my questions actually had to do with you. I noticed in
Okay.
in looking at all of your recordings and everything and all of your albums, you're primarily the songwriter. And this newest album,
Right.
I have so many questions about the theme lyrically that you went with. It's a very dark album. Um, and I mean that in the most sincere way. I mean, it is very heavy, it's very deep, and with the style of music that you guys play, you're not really like death metal, you know what I mean? So it doesn't radiate with the genre that you play some of the themes that are in the album. So I first of all I want to make sure, is everybody okay? And
Yeah,
uh
you know what's really crazy. So I'm about to get into some stuff here. So
sure.
this is some pretty crazy stuff. But so we were going full steam ahead as a band in 2015, 2016, touring all the time. We had songs on the charts a
Right.
lot all the time. It was really going. And then we stopped for a little while because we needed to really concentrate, I think, on our lives back home with our families. And we
Mhm.
really just were like, man, we just need to take a break for a little while. Well, when we started to rev it back up, which was in late 2018, this record kind of started then.
Right.
And then the whole slew of things started happening. So our producer from our last record, he passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Oh.
And
Man.
he's 47 years old, so he was a pretty young guy. And it was pretty devastating. And we're like, oh man. Well, then a few months later, our sound guy that had been with us for over a decade, he passed away. And it was just like, oh my gosh, what can happen next? Well, then we started recording the record, and Mike, our drummer, he came over and he was doing his thing, and we started on that first song that you guys hear. It's not "Will We Ever Know," but it's called "Pay For,"
Yes.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so we'd started on that. Well, anyway, we started on that, and then a month later, my dad passed away. Our dad passed away as
Wow.
we were in the studio recording this song. Like literally, we got the news as we were in the studio recording. So we shut it down for a minute. We were just like, we just needed to grieve. We needed to
Yeah.
stop. Well, so Mike, he calls me, our drummer, he calls me, and he's like, man, I'm so sorry. He didn't make my dad's funeral. And I was like, man, that's okay, man. Love you. We're going to get back in the studio here in a little while. We just need some time to chill for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when I came back to work, I was working up at the church, at the studio at the church, and
Hmm.
walked in the door. And my brother called me, and he is just like, "Man," he goes, "You're just not going to believe this." And I go, "What?" Literally, it was like, "What now?" I mean,
Right. Right.
and he said Mike and his wife had been shot and killed uh, early in the morning on that Sunday
Great.
morning, and so there therein lies probably a lot of what you're hearing
Yeah. Yeah. I
in
mean
some of the
that.
lyric and the dark places, because we were just in a state of grief,
Right.
and we with Mike going, we didn't even know if we were gonna continue, because he had just been a rock for our band too.
Right.
And just he was one of those constants that it was just he was always there, and we were just like, we can get through anything with Mike in the back. He
Right.
always made it sound tons better. He was amazing. Well, so fast forward to the beginning of 2020, and we were like, man, we're ready to go back in. We're ready to go do this. And right as the pandemic hits right then. And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that gave me a ton of time to start, to really start writing, because we weren't really going to record for a while. So I just started writing songs and started reflecting on a ton of the stuff. A lot of the themes on the record are, like "Will We Ever Know?" I mean, the very
Hmm.
first thing, man, it's
Yeah.
really contemplative. It's literally writing something as you're staring out the window, and just like, you know, the lyric, if we're born to die, does it even matter?
Yeah,
But we won't really ever know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're not going to know until we die. And so just, those thoughts were just going in my brain, and just as the rest of the world, but there's just so many things, the political climate, the religious climate, the everything climate just made you start thinking a lot more of what was really true, what was really real, all those things. And so as we're doing that, the song "I Can't,"
yes,
I think as we were, as I was literally in this room right here when I was coming up with a few of the, and this is my son's room, by the way. And I brought my acoustic guitar in here because I just kind of, his room is great to just kind of get away. He's more in the living room anyway all the time. So I brought it in, and I was kind of doing that little thing. It sounds kind of like Willy Wonka or something. It's like ding 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 ding. It's like, oh, that sounds Willy Wonka-ish. That's funny. And then CNN was in the background, and they were, all the coronavirus, shoot it up in your arms, and maybe, with all that stuff that was going. I was just like, what is going on? And I just meant, I can't take this anymore. I just can't. This is just all the stuff that had been happening, plus the pandemic, all that stuff. And so just started writing that, and finished it with a buddy of mine, and who helped, basically was half production on the record. So
yeah, I saw that as well.
His name's James Connor.
Yep.
Yeah, and we finished that one up. But man, overall, just the themes are just, you're right. My dad struggled with a ton of mental health issues, and when he passed away, the song "The Light and Dark" is one that's kind of more geared towards him and his thought process, as well as "Over My Head" was one that was that actually Gabe was kind of thinking about and saying, man, he was like, man, just about how my dad would act, you know what I mean? And once you get to a certain spot with somebody with mental illness, you're over your head, man. You don't know what to do anymore. A lot of the choices are always going to be up to them, So anyway, that was a lot of rambling to say there's a lot of dark stuff.
Oh, no. First of all, out of all of that pain and grief came, like I said, an incredible album. The song "I Can't" is my favorite track off of the album, specifically musically. Like, you guys really broke your barrier, so to speak, on that song musically. Like, you really changed your guys' tonality and everything. And vocally, the song is challenging, which I enjoy. And then, like you said, that little guitar part, like that little scale and that melody, like it really fits. It to me feels like it should be the opening track of the album. It feels very operatic. But the song "Pay For It," I mean, that is like good old Aranda right there. Like, as soon as that pops in on that second track, I was like, hell yeah, man, like this rips. And then going into "I Can't," and I was like, oh, I love this song. And then Jesus. Compartmentalize is another one off of that track or that album that, like, it's really good. You guys are really incredible. And what I don't understand is I just turned 28. In your prime, how I never heard of you guys is beyond me. Like, you're my genre. Like, Art of Dying, Disturbed, Hinder, Nickelback. You're right in line with everything that I listen to, and I don't know.
We've toured with every single one of those bands.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
That's crazy.
How did I miss this? It doesn't make sense. So I've been obsessed with you guys the past like 2 weeks. So
you're going back in the back catalog then?
Oh yeah. I've listened to every track you guys have put out. Just incredible. You guys are incredible, and I love your cover of "More Than Words." It's beautiful. That's actually our wedding song. So it's absolutely beautiful. So you guys did Rock on the Range back in 2012. What was that experience like? And would you say would that have been like your largest show? We went to Rock on the Range in 2015, and that's like a huge festival. So just curious.
We were there in 2016 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a big one, you know. It's a really big one. We did, you know, I think consistently when we went on tour with Daughtry and Three Doors Down,
Hmm.
uh, that was a consistently like really large crowd, especially the time that we went was 2013, and
Right.
they were, Daughtry
Top of the
was
prime.
he was pretty, yeah, there was a lot of prime stuff going on right there. And then Three Doors Down was really, people just loved them. At that point already, they had a catalog of like greatest hits, so they would
Yeah,
go
yeah.
out there and every song you're like, oh, I heard that one. Oh, I heard that one. Oh, I heard that one. Yeah. So we were the third band. So we were the third band. So we were the ones that would always open up and try to warm the crowd
Mhm.
up and stuff. And the cool thing about that was the crowds were just crazy large, and a lot of it was because those venues were just sold out. So it just felt. It
Yeah.
might not have been as many people, but it felt massive because there were so many people there. It was just like,
Right.
woo! When we went out there, it was always like, here we go.
It's probably one of those feelings, man, that never goes away. Like you never really get used to going out there in front of all those people, and then everybody's just losing their minds when you come on stage. It's got to be incredible experiences.
Well, I think yes and no. I think for us, a lot of the time in our career, it always felt like we have something to prove all the time, because I think a lot, we were always kind of like, oh, we hadn't heard of these guys yet, or we don't know these
Exactly.
guys. There was only one time, real period in our careers where we went out, and that was the Daughtry Three Doors Down thing, where we had a single that just did so well for us called Satisfied.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just one of those songs for like about a 6 month period. We'd go out, and I mean, people would just buy up merch, and we'd just be like,
Hmm.
man, okay, this is what momentum is,
Right.
and
Right.
but for the most part, it was always, hey, who the heck are these guys? We'd get, is this Arnanda or Armada or who is this? And we're like, okay, this is going to be, we're going to pack a lunch. It's going to be a tough crowd tonight. But it was always great because we always welcomed
Mhm.
we really believed in our message and what we were saying. And we really felt like you know, always, you know, think broken, you connect through brokenness with people.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how, our struggles, we can connect through that together. When you put something on paper and then you put it out as music and you go, man, I am going through this. Most of the time you'll go, man, I have about 25 million other people that are going through the same thing. And
Exactly.
that's how you really connect with people. So I felt like our music really connected with people in that way. Even though it might be a tad dark at times, it really just, kind of it was just kind of like, hey, this signifies, this is the signal of like, um, hey, we're in this together,
Hmm.
and we can get each other through it, So
Um. So to bounce back to an older track of yours, I might screw up the name here. I believe it's the good side of vanity. Is that
the upside of
the
that.
upside of vanity? Is that
Yeah.
a track that you wrote? You wrote the lyrics for that?
Now let me tell you this. So I give props where props are due. My brother wrote 70% of that song.
Did he?
Uh, so yes, he wrote a lot of the verses, a lot of the stuff. My main contribution was the chorus.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Ah, I mean the opening verse in that song, I literally I heard it and then I came home and I was like, this song is your song. When I looked at my wife, I was like, this is about you. And I showed it
Yeah,
to her. Every man's been there, right? You know?
yeah, yeah. And I'm watching you. You're watching you. I love that first line.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's watching you. So
So let's talk a little bit about I Can't. Um, we obviously have established there's a little bit of a political background there. You kind of answered my question that I had about the track. It does seem intentional. Is that something that we could see moving forward um, with some of your tracks, or not
yeah,
to get
I
into
mean,
anything political, but I think that you had a really strong message in that song, and I think it resonated well. Like it was underlying enough where it's not in your face and you can enjoy the song. But when you
Yeah.
dive into it, you know, it's important to have people like you out there putting out a good message. So
Well, and that's what I think more what it is. I would always hate to say that we're so political in the sense of like politics.
mhm.
The word politics itself is a little,
Yeah, you can't even say it. People clench their butt cheeks up.
yeah, it's like,
Oh yeah.
what's going to come out of this person's mouth? I think it was really like not geared towards politics in general, but really the world and how we treat each
Yeah.
other, you
Yeah.
know? And but there's also too, it's like we all have our own minds, you know what I mean? And we can think for ourselves for the
Mhm.
most part. I think there's debatable with some people, but most people, you know, you can think for yourself, make your own decisions and make, and those kinds of things. And so I think just at that moment, um, I don't think anybody likes to be controlled. I don't think
Right.
anybody likes to, uh, it was almost just like, man, the one thing that we wanted to really say in that wasn't really the I can't take it anymore thing. It was more like, man, let's just stand up for what's right. Let's just stand up for good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was kind of more what that song was about. Of course, the chorus kind of took that I can't take it anymore. I can't do this anymore. Oh, this,
Yeah.
But if you really dive into the lyrics of the verses, it really explains
Mm-hmm.
just what you can't take, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And really it's just division in general, it's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
golly, I mean, sometimes I can't even go out with one of my buddies without getting into, you know, some kind of conversation where you think, man, the next day, am I going to be canceled? Or they think I'm going to cancel them or,
Right.
Exactly.
and
That's why, like, when I'm at college, I don't speak. Like, I just sit there.
yeah. I mean, and the thing with that is like, it's sad that you can't, you know what I mean? It's sad that right now the way the kind of the climate is,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost dangerous in some ways,
Yeah.
Right.
um, I mean, if you just watch the news. So I got a new phone about 2 months ago, and for some reason it's like now it's got this thing called Newsbreak on it,
Yeah.
and it
Yep.
Yep.
flashes up.
Mhm.
It just flashes up on my thing all the time.
All day, every day.
And I mean, if you watch that too much, it's
Yeah.
really depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really depressing. I mean, there's just so much killing. There's just so much
It's
like,
awful.
just dissent as far as like how people are just feeling about, this country and the world. And it's just so sad, and it really,
Right.
Yep.
and now, raising kids in this world,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't
and what
imagine.
you tell them, and we just try to keep preaching love and respect,
Mm-hmm.
and we really hope that conquers all.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So speaking of kids, something that I really love about your guys' band and your image over the past years is that you've always taken a stance of family first. You kind of brought it up earlier. That being said, this is a two-part question basically. Has there been any type of regret in your career of taking that momentum and saying, you know what, family's got to come first? And then is there anything that you would say to an aspiring musician, you know, some sort of piece of advice to kind of reflect on that, you know?
Oh, that's good. Um, well, I'll take the first part of the question first. And I mean, no, I don't think we regret it. We do think that we would have probably maybe been at a way different place with our careers today, maybe, because we were really riding pretty good.
Right.
Those two records were doing well for us, Stop the World and Not the Same. And the momentum was really,
Mm-hmm.
really good. If we would have put out a record maybe a year and a half, 2 years from that point and continue to just go and slam touring again,
Yeah.
we would have probably rode into 2020 with a lot more just momentum, but we didn't do that. And I don't regret it, man, because I mean, I've just gotten to see my little guy grow up, and getting to take him to soccer now and getting to hang
Yeah.
out with them, and even during the pandemic, me and my wife, we, well, I'll give my credit to my wife. She's the, she's the one who homeschooled the kids. I'm
Yeah.
like, I was about to say both of us, but she really did it. And but just to be there and be a support and be in the house, and that was a rough couple years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and we're just feel like we're kind of getting out of it, yet we're probably going into something else weird. That's just how life is.
Right.
Um, but we, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't regret any of those things. And I think Gabe would say the same thing too. He's really, I don't know, he's really doing well now with kind of all the things that he does. I mean, sometimes you go, it is harder for us now to like get on certain things because we don't have certain cloud or certain, we
Right.
can have
Right.
a number 16 going on in the, whatever it is. But, at the end of the day, we do music because we love it. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
the older we've gotten now, the more we go, man, it would be nice to have some of that stuff and to be able to do that. But at the end of the day, it really is nice to just play music and record music and have someone listen to it. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
which even when you talk about like, man, I've been listening to your stuff, man, that's where it's at for me, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, honestly, man, like I said, it's the one thing that I really love about you guys is like not too many musicians, first of all, have done what you guys have done, and then to take at your peak momentum and say, you know what, we gotta step back for a minute, and this is more important. Like I'm a bit of a songwriter myself, and I had a decent little bit of momentum going to get my career started, and kind of the same thing. Like I just decided that, you know, family's more important, and I moved with my now wife to Virginia and said, music's wonderful and I love it, but you got to do what you got to do. And again, I've done things that a lot of people can say they haven't done. And I'm appreciative of the path that I took, but it's good to see somebody of your stature come in and say, man, it's worth it. So it's awesome.
Oh man, thank you. Again, it's not easy, but there's the rewards, man, outweigh anything that would be considered what they would say is a con.
Right, right. So Taylor, I know you have a couple of
Yes.
questions yourself.
Well, see, this happens every time is I have questions and then they get answered like as the conversation keeps going.
She's a really
So-
great co-host.
I'm fantastic. I just like to listen to people talk. Like I could listen to you talk for hours about your life and I love it. I do, however, have a question that is not related to this conversation at all. The door behind you,
Yes.
are those stickers or is that engraved in the door?
These are stickers.
Okay.
Yep, they're
That's-
stickers.
Yeah. Okay. It kind of looks from the angle it's at, it kind of looks engraved.
And there's a T missing here, so so if you were trying to look at the message, you might, it might be hard to decipher.
Okay, well, so we ask all of our guests this final question. So our show is called the Hook and Bridge Podcast for a reason. Taylor's my little sister. We describe each other as I'm the hook and she's the bridge. So I'm kind of like the entertainment side of the song. I kind of keep everybody entertained, and she's the more complex part that kind of brings everybody back in line and keeps everybody saying, okay, it's something different than I've heard before. So
I'm complicated.
we ask everybody on the show, which is, and this is a great question for you as a songwriter, which is more important to you in your process when you're writing or just in general, like listening to music? Do you appreciate a good hook more, or are you more into like a bridge in the song?
Man, I'd have to say, for me, when I'm writing, I think I'm always thinking the thing that somebody can latch onto. So probably hook,
Mm-hmm.
Bridges are very important though. it's a big decision to omit a bridge in a song, because there's some pop songs that don't have bridges, like real
Right.
bridges, but some of the greatest songs of all time have amazing bridges. So I think for my song process, it's always hook, but the bridge has to come in there somewhere because
Sure.
it's such a big part.
All right. I mean, that's a great answer.
My feelings are only a little hurt. Okay.
Hey, I said you're needed and you're known, okay?
That's right. Words to live by.
So we do play games here on this show.
Yes,
That's kind of what
games.
we're known for.
Okay.
So we have a game that we invented called Take It or Leave It. So basically, I'll do maybe 10 of these. They're popular songs from my phone, off of my personal playlist here. And you just say take it as in you love the song, and you can tell me, why you love the song, or leave it and you hate the song, and you're welcome to say why you hate the song. Or if you don't know it, that's okay too. So the first one up is the song The Enemy by Godsmack.
Okay. Am I listening to this, or am I
No,
just
just
I'm
your
just-
general opinion. Take it or leave it.
I know Sully, and so I'll take it.
So cool.
I mean,
So cool.
just between you and me, if you have any pull and you can get them on the show, how about the song Bring the Boys Back Home by Pink Floyd?
I'll leave it, man.
Not a Pink Floyd fan.
I'll leave it.
Agreed.
All right. Okay.
I am a Pink Floyd fan.
Mm-hmm.
I am, but it's definitely certain songs. It's not
Sure.
like every song.
Gotcha.
So,
I mean, that's understandable.
sorry.
Okay.
No, that's all right. I mean, Pink Floyd's one of
Yeah.
those bands where, I mean, I'm a diehard Pink Floyd fan, but it's one of those bands where, like,
Mhm.
if you dive into it hard enough, it becomes like, I don't listen to individual songs. I listen to albums of Pink Floyd. Like, if I'm gonna listen to Pink Floyd, I'm listening to The Wall front to back. I'm not gonna just listen to the, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. So,
Well, if I was giving my top 10, around number 8 or 9 would be "Wish You Were Here." I freaking love that song.
There you go. Yeah,
With-
yeah.
That's
You
a
guys should do
good
a cover
song.
of that song, man. Oh, that would be incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
the song Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba?
Oh my god. That song just makes me laugh, but I will
Yeah.
leave it where it's at.
All right. Leave it back in the 90s. I like it. Here's a great one. How about High and Dry by Radiohead?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Such an incredible
Yeah.
track, and just the actual song itself is beautiful. Here's a great one. How about Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth?
Mm.
I will take that any day of the week.
I hate
I love
Megadeth.
that.
Fan.
Mm-mm. Don't.
Oh, so I don't know a ton of Megadeth stuff, but that song in particular is awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. I love it. Here we go. Have you ever heard of the band The Clarks? They're more rock and roll.
No,
No.
I have
okay.
not.
All right. We'll skip.
They
that.
are so good.
They are.
So I need to check them out.
You really should.
Yes.
They're really.
They are my favorite band.
Well, you
Okay.
have like
So
12 of those.
good.
Yeah, but
Um,
like they're in like the top 3.
And then we'll finish this off with AC/DC Have a Drink on Me.
I'll take that song. I love it.
I mean,
It's AC/DC, and it's like, yeah, exactly.
All right. So the other thing that I had planned, and this is where having no show notes is going to be a little bit of an issue, but we'll see what we can do. How are you in the impressions department?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I could try.
All right. So
Now, before we play it, it has nothing to do with the late night show's version of the song. This is
yes,
completely made up,
This is a whole other thing that we made up.
a whole other thing. Or we also pick songs and you have to sing them in a certain person's voice.
So
Okay.
for you, sir, I have picked
Oh, gosh.
out Tom Petty, and the song is "The Joker" by Steve Miller Band.
Oh Lord. How does Tom Petty? And I won't back down. Let's see. Okay, so I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a smoker, and I'm a sinner. See my music in the sun. Boy, I don't even know the words
Oh,
anymore.
man. I love it.
That was so good. That was
Love
great. That was way better than Harley's impressions.
it.
Yeah.
Mine are really bad. But that's okay.
Yours are mostly for comical relief.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like actually really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Eddie Vedder? And the song that we're gonna do is "Learn to Fly" by the Foo Fighters.
Okay. And I'm looking for the sky to shake me, looking for a shiny light. Heaven only been doesn't help me get out right.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
That was
yes.
It's so
incredible.
good.
Incredible. Oh man, this is the greatest. All right. And
This
then
is fantastic.
I think we'll do one more here. We're gonna do Kelly Clarkson.
Oh my gosh.
And I know you guys have done some work, but we're not gonna do those songs. We are going to do the classic Kelly Clarkson song,
There's
Since you've
several.
been gone.
Since You've Been Gone. That's the one. But feel free to do it however you'd like to do it.
Oh my gosh. You can't, it's so high too. It's like
How about this? What if Aranda was covering was covering that
Since You've Been
song,
Gone.
Since You've Been Gone?
I don't even know how we would do it. Like just thinking about it. I don't even know. I just that's a really tough one. I think whenever you're asking a guy to do a female is always like it's gonna start going into the falsetto land a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, I did Share a couple of weeks ago, so
He did do Share,
Yeah.
and it was awful.
it
So
was
so
real
bad.
bad.
it was so bad.
I also did Ariana Grande, so
Yeah.
Did you really?
yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
worse.
I bet you that was pretty amazing.
it was
Like
something. All
Sounds
right.
came out, and they weren't the correct sounds. So
So
Alright.
how long have you been playing guitar for?
Oh man, close to 27, 28 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
And
good.
you primarily write the guitar pieces of the music, right?
Yeah.
I kind of thought so. I thought I had heard an interview and that was kind of talked about. So the track "Satisfied," what was like the guitar specifically inspiration for that song? Not the lyric inspiration, because I already know that story. That story's been said a million times, but the
Yeah.
music inspiration, like how did you come up with that intro guitar lick? Because I mean, it's really something.
Well, I mean, overall, that song was more in my head than in my fingers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I always think writing like that frees you up to kind of like do some cool stuff with the guitar instead of like sometimes, you'll get on a guitar and you'll start playing and everything kind of seems like it's going together because you're making it go together, and
Right.
your guitar can be a little bit of a prisoner, And so I think with that, I think I just thought about it in my head in the way that, I remember the melody was, I never want wanna see you. Da, 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 da. I was like, man, okay, that feels good. And so then I was able to get on the guitar and then
Right.
put those guitar things to it like that. So it was kind of backwards because a lot of the times I'll come in and just write riffs and then try to
Yeah.
do like melody over it. This was the other way around. I was like, no, do it all in your head and then put chords to it.
That's awesome, man. And now, do you do the lead guitar in your songs?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do every guitar that you hear on the records. That's me.
Damn.
Except
Crazy.
we had our first feature on this record from our childhood. Basically, the band that we grew up idolizing, Living Color, Cult of
That's who
Personality,
that
and all that
was?
stuff.
I did
Vernon
not
Reed-
realize that.
Vernon Reed played the
Yeah,
lead guitar on
I-
Pay For.
I saw the
Wow.
name and I did not recognize the name. Oh, that is something, man.
So I have a little extra love for that song because he's on it, and you know, my 12-year-old self was like, I would never have once dreamed of that ever happening.
Right. All right. We'll go ahead and get started on the end of the show here. Every week we do a question of the week. This week it is I'm sorry, we're reading last week's. Which band had the hit with Eye of the Tiger? The easiest answer in the world, Survivor.
Yes.
So,
and we got an answer on the Instagram for that too.
oh, okay. Yep, let's give our shout out. Who answered that one today?
I want you to take a guess.
I'm gonna say Drums and Rums.
I'm gonna say you're right, actually.
Good old Paul over at Drums and Rums. He loves to answer these questions.
He loves answering the questions.
So for you, Dameon, you get to pick this week's question. We have 3 categories. We have pop, we have soundtrack, and we have 80s.
Let's do 80s.
80s? All righty. So this week's question of the week is, who had the hit?
Oh, no,
with-
you don't answer the question.
Yeah, we've had to start telling people that. You
I
don't
will not
answer the
answer it.
question. Who had the
You
hit
don't
with
answer.
the song Rock Lobster? What a perfect question.
This one YouTube video from when Taylor was 8.
Yes, if you're
She did
interested,
it.
you could always
I'm
look
singing
up.
it. Yes.
You could always look up my YouTube. Taylor does a little singing on my YouTube page back when she was 8
A
and
fantastic impression.
I was 14, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
6. Yeah,
Something.
15.
Something.
So let's go ahead.
Yeah,
and
it was a
talk
Family
about,
Guy impression of it.
Yes, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about your stuff you got going on, man. So I know the band is on tour. I know you guys still have a few dates open. You want to go ahead and let everybody know where we can go see you, and I know I'd love to try and get over there, but I think most of them are Midwest, and I don't think I can make it.
They're pretty Midwest right now. I know we're in Wichita. We're out in the Chicago area. We're out in the Madison, Wisconsin area, which is probably like the home away from home as far as like fans go. And then we're in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Nice.
I think we're adding a Springfield, Missouri date. I think is going to be in that little area. And then we do have a hometown show in Oklahoma City, and then we have a benefit show that we're doing for Cancer Sucks on the 26th with Texas Hippie Coalition.
Oh, I love the
Nice.
Texas Hippie Coalition.
And that's gonna
Awesome.
and it's it. Yeah, and it's going to be at Kane's Ballroom, which is just a great venue, and so that's going to be a really great show. That's on the 26th, which is the so Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. It's that Saturday after
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
wow, man. Awesome. All right.
So yeah,
So
and then we're doing in January. We're doing Shiprocked in
oh
January.
yes, yeah. We just had Ralph Sutton on recently, a
Yes.
few episodes ago. Did you go and do Shiprock when he was the host?
Oh, we've been on it for the last 7-8 years.
Wow.
So you know Ralph Sutton
Awesome.
then.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go. Little connection. Yeah, we had him on the show
Aw.
recently. So he's another one, man. He's a great guy. So the new album is Recollections of a Painted Year. That is out
It's a mouthful.
now. And is there anything else you want to let everybody know? I know, follow your Instagram, follow your brother's Instagram, follow your personal Instagram.
Yeah, all those. It's Gabe Aranda Tile, then mine's Dameon Aranda, then it's Aranda Music. Those are all the Instagrams. We just started a TikTok the last couple weeks ago. We'll be doing a lot of stupid stuff on that. So
Love it.
it might be worth a follow just if you're like goofiness. But if you want just more serious stuff of the band, Instagram and Facebook, you'll be fine dealing with that. And Twitter. We tweet once in a while.
There we go, man.
Good
All
old
right.
tweet.
Good old tweet, but
So you can follow us at Hook and Bridge Podcast on everything. Definitely check out the show. You're already listening to it now, but if you want to listen to it on any other platforms, we're just about everywhere at this point. Listen to us on YouTube for additional content and the video content. And Jeff, definitely check out the Instagram. It's been amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes. Oh, this has been so much fun.
Thank
I
you.
will say, this is the most excited Taylor and I have been on the show
Yes.
so far. So you're absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. It's amazing to
Awesome.
have you on.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me and letting me embarrass myself a little bit with these weird impersonations. So I have to brush up on them. So maybe you can have me on next year and we can have another crack at them.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Man. Next year we'll do it in person. I'll come to you.
Yes.
Oklahoma, here we come.
You know what's funny
Let's
is
go.
you guys would be amazing on Shiprock. They do some of the interview stuff there. You guys should do like a little thing where you sit down and interview people. That would be amazing.
I mean,
Oh, that would be
I
so much
would
fun.
100% be there.
Yeah, that would be really cool. You guys would be like awesome doing that.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch with you, and for sure we'd love to have you back on.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Cool.
all right, everybody, peace out. Have a great afternoon.
Guys.